Hiya everyone, I'm Jamie, this is Stardew Valley, and today I'm making a beginner's guide to Stardew Valley. This is something I've been asked to make a number of times by members of my community over on Twitch, by people who want to play Stardew Valley but they're just so overwhelmed at the beginning and don't know where to start. So I'm making this guide to hopefully help brand new players to get started in this wonderful game. So to start, you make your character, so let's just say, name beginner, farm name, new farm, favourite thing, learning. There are a bunch of different farms that you can pick from, but we're not going to care about those too much for this video. I've skipped the intro because I've seen it way too many times, but basically your grandpa on his deathbed gives you the deed to a farm and says that if you're ever being crushed down by modern life and just really need a change, you can go to this farm and live there. You get the bus into town, you are greeted by the townsfolk, by the mayor and the carpenter, and you are taken to your new home. Straight off, as you start the game, you have this box in your house. If you go up to it and click M2, you get 15 parsnip seeds, with a little note from Mayor Lewis saying here's a little something to get you started. You'll also notice that you have some tools in your inventory. You have the axe, which is used to chop wood. You have the hoe, which is used to dig and till soil. The watering can, which is used to water crops and can be refilled at any water source. You have the pickaxe, which is used to break stones, and the scythe, which can be used to cut grass and cut down weeds. In the next few days, you'll also have the chance to collect the fishing rod to catch fish from Willie's Fish Shop on Spring 2, and the sword to fight monsters from the mines on Spring 5. You will receive letters for both of these in your letterbox, which is just outside of your house. It comes up with this big letter notification on top of it when you have post. And also you'll notice you have this as well in the top corner. You have the date, which is Monday the 1st, and this little icon here shows you that it is spring. We'll go more into seasons later. This also shows you the weather. It can be sunny, cloudy, rainy, thundering, or snowing, giving different effects. For example, rain waters your crops for you, so you don't have to water them yourself. Next is the time, shown here and here. Time goes from 6 AM when you wake until 2 AM when the day ends. If you do not sleep before 2 AM, your character will pass out where they stand. You will lose some money and suffer an energy penalty the next day, so your energy, which is down here, will also be a bit lower than full. If you are not in bed before 12 AM, you will still suffer a small energy penalty the next day. If you are not in bed by 1 AM, you will suffer a larger energy penalty the next day, but if you're in bed before 2 AM, you won't pass out at least. You won't lose any money. Your money is also shown here. This is just how much money you have, and you start with 500G. And lastly, the quest log, which is here, which is pulsing at you because we've currently got a new quest, keeps track of the current quests you have. And quests will usually be given to you by villagers via the post box outside, or can be accepted from the notice board outside Pierre's general store, which we'll see when we explore later. To open the menu, which is that, you press E or escape on PC, plus or B on Switch, start or B on Xbox, start or circle on PlayStation. And to go through the tabs, first we have the inventory where all your items are kept, as well as your character and what they're currently wearing. And if you navigate along the top here, you have skills. Your skills consist of farming, mining, foraging, fishing, and combat, which will all gain XP as you do these tasks. Next is social, where your relationships with the villagers are kept. These will go up as you talk to them or give them gifts they like. Moving on, we have the map, which is a still image of the entire map with your farm being here. Following the map, we have the crafting menu, which I'll go into a bit more later, and also the collections tab, which I will go into more later as well. And finally, we have general settings and the button that exits the game. There is no manual save in Stardew Valley. There is only the autosave that happens when you sleep, so make sure you go to sleep in your bed by walking into it if you want to save. But also know that going to sleep will end the day, so don't go to sleep unless you've done everything you want to that day. I would say that a solid place to start in this game is actually with the quest log, because you get 2 quests that I think are actually really beneficial to start with. So first you have this quest that says cultivate and harvest a parsnip, and it tells you exactly how to do that. So I would suggest starting with this. You use the scythe to remove these little bits of green thing, which are weeds, and then you use the pickaxe to get rid of these blocks, and then use the axe to get rid of these logs, and then you should have a space to plant your parsnips. You then use the hoe to till the soil, use the parsnip seeds to plant them into the ground, and use the watering can to make sure they're watered. Now that we've planted and watered the parsnips, you'll notice that our energy has gone down. Energy goes down whenever you perform a task, so if I water, you'll see that I lose 2 energy points. Once you get to 0 energy, your character will move very slowly like that, and you won't be able to perform any tasks without passing out. So I would advise keeping an eye on your energy. Energy can also be replenished by either eating food or going to sleep. But again, like I said earlier, going to sleep ends the day, so don't go to sleep unless you're, satisfied that you want the day to end. As a really brief introduction to crops, we have now hoed the soil with the hoe, we have used the seeds in the hoed soil to plant them, and we have used the watering can to water these crops. Now it varies from crop to crop, but parsnips take 4 days to grow. So as long as we water these crops every day, in 4 days they will be ready to harvest. And once they're ready to harvest, you can right click to harvest the parsnips. Then if you want to sell the parsnips to make some money, you have 2 choices on how to sell them, but we will go more into that later on. You'll also notice that even though we have harvested the crops, the soil has remained tilled. So this is ready to have new seeds planted in it. However, if we are to go to sleep, you'll notice that the next day some of the soil has gone untilled. And as you sleep more and more, this will keep happening. You can also do it yourself by just doing that with your pickaxe. Next, I would draw your attention to the introductions quest, which basically just says it would be a nice gesture to introduce yourself around town. Some people might be anxious to meet the new farmer. And it says you've met 2 out of 28 people purely because of the 2 people that met you off the bus when you entered the town. I would advise looking into doing this quest a little bit, purely because it's a good idea, I think, to just explore the town on your first day, to just have a little bit of a walk around and get a feel for the place. Because ultimately, there's no rush. There's no rush. This is a chill game. You just take your time, have an explore, look around, meet some people. This is Alex. Hey, you're the new girl here? I think we're going to get along great. I'm Alex. I'll see you around. And just go around and just chat to people and get a sense of, what's going on in the town. To give you a quick introduction to the town, first we have Pierre's, which is the general store. You can come to Pierre's to buy seeds to plant in your farm. The crops will vary from season to season, but we'll come back to seasons. You have the saloon, which is a great place to meet people and also to play the games that they have in here. So if you go in here and go to the back, there's some little games that you can play. There's this one that I'm terrible at. I just panic and just not shooting everything. But yeah, there's games within the game. Oh god, I'm dead. Well, moving on. We also have the blacksmiths, where you can buy ores/coal and also upgrade your tools. And also the museum, where you can bring artifacts you find for the collection. And just to avoid confusion, the collection here and the collection here are not the same thing. And lastly, in the main town area, we have Joja Mart, which is kind of like Pierre's, but it's like a big supermarket corporate entity. Outside of town, you have Robin's Carpentry, which will build and upgrade buildings. You have Willie's, which sells fishing supplies. And Marnie's, who sells animals and animal supplies. Moving on to more gameplay based things, the first barriers that you will face in the game are largely energy depletion and inventory space. As at the start of the game, before you've leveled up your skills, using the tools requires a lot of your character's energy. So early on in the game, I would advise going around collecting food. You can find a lot of good food by foraging. You can tell what's edible by if you hover over it in your menu, it will tell you that it gives plus energy and plus health. So if I right click to eat this, you will see that my energy goes up. There are, however, some forageables that you'll pick up, like this dandelion, that don't give you any energy. So do check when you're picking up forageables whether they will be food or not. The other barrier being inventory space, I would highly recommend just chopping down a few of the trees on your farm until you have 50 wood. And once you have 50 wood, you can open up your menu, go to crafting, and click on the chest, and you can now use the chest to store your excess items. By going to it in your hotbar and right-clicking to place it. Then you can right-click on it and place all the items that you don't want to carry around with you in the chest for safekeeping. This seems like a good time to segue into crafting. So the crafting system in Stardew is actually very simple. As you level up and learn recipes for crafting, they will appear in your crafting menu. You can hover over the things in your crafting menu to figure out what they are and also what they require to make. Like for example, if I wanted to make a torch, I can hover over torch. It says provides a modest amount of light and says that I need 1 wood and 2 sap to make it. So if I go into my chest and take out 1 wood and 2 sap, open up my crafting menu again, I can now make 1 torch. And as you gain levels in your skills by performing just these tasks, so if I were to do some mining by breaking these rocks, I would up my mining skill. And if I were to gain enough XP to gain a mining level and then go to sleep at night, I would then raise up that mining level and learn some new crafting recipes. Everything you can make will appear in this crafting menu. I may have got distracted by making a campfire because I've never actually made one before. Earlier I mentioned seasons. Now it's spring now, there are 4 seasons, each of 28 days. They are spring, summer, autumn and winter. Crops can only be grown in certain seasons. For example, cauliflower can only grow in spring and take 12 days. So if a cauliflower is planted on the 20th of spring, it will not grow before it dies on the 1st of summer. So be careful when planting crops. Just make sure of the seasons. A question I've had on my stream is asking whether it's best to sell crops via this box up here, which can be used to sell crops, or by going to, say, Pierre's or Joja Mart to sell them there. And the answer to that is it doesn't really matter. Selling to Pierre's means that you can get the money immediately that day, where selling via the box will save time on walking to Pierre's, but will only give you the money the next day. Selling via the box will also add whatever you ship to the collections tab in your menu, so when you sell something via the box, it will appear in here, which I know will appeal to completionists. I wanted to make this more simplistic guide because I feel like too many guides that I see for beginners talk about efficiency and doing everything fast. And like at its core, this is a chill game. It's a chill game, so I wouldn't stress too much about that kind of stuff in the beginning. Ultimately, I would recommend doing whatever makes you feel good. You want to work on clearing the farm of all this debris? Do it. You want to plant as many crops as possible? Do it. You want to make a replica of your own face out of crops? Do that. You want to just hang out with the townsfolk, give them gifts and do nothing else? Do it. You want to fight through the mines all day? Do that. You want to beat the games in the saloon? Do that. The valley is yours to play with. It's the character's chill escape from the stressful life of the city. There's nothing you have to do, no losing condition. The only winning condition is achieving your own goals. I will, however, give one generic tip for the game, and that's not to sell everything. I would advise not selling minerals because they're often used in crafting, and I would keep 1 or 2 of every other item you get, purely if you need them for a quest, you know, so you don't have to grow it or find it, you've just got it. Hopefully this helps you get started in Stardew Valley. There is a lot I've left out because I didn't want to go too in depth. This is meant to be an introduction to Stardew to ease some of that feeling of being overwhelmed that I know a lot of new players get, like I know I did. If you want me to make a more in-depth and specific guide, let me know in the comments. I'm also happy to answer any questions you have. I love this game so much and I'd love to help more people enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. Again, ask me anything in the comments or come to my stream and ask me there. I am happy to answer any questions. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Hope you will join my streams on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday over on twitch.tv/JamieIsStrange, linktree in the description. Much love everyone, I'll see you in the next one, bye bye.